And welcome to Box to Board, and tonight we're going to look at Deadwood 1876, which is a game that kickstarted from Facade Games, and we're just going to have a quick look at it and what you get and a little kind of quick review. So first thing is you get a magnetized box. It's a very nice box. It resembles a book. I took this off the back of it because I quite like the whole looking like a book thing. So what you get inside is the following. So you get your rules, you get some cards, you get 3 places, and you get a bundle of dice and meeples and a little bag, and you've got the inside sort of cover bit, which is quite nice. So let's have a look. So the gist of it is that you get these 3 place mats. Let's go through them first. So the saloon, theatre, Little Gym Theatre, and Grand Central Hotel. And basically, you also the premise of the game is that you're trying to get gold. You're trying to do a heist. So it's kind of what they call it is a social deduction game, but there's shootouts involved as well, which is kind of cool. And the game is played by a combination of things: cards, which you can play different characters, which have got different colours to them, and you know, the artwork in these is superb, I have to say. So you've got there Seth Bullock, you know, Alice Swearingen, Kitty Leroy, Calamity Jane, Wild Bill Hickok, Poker Alice, Molly Johnson, Reverend Smith, Solomon Starr, and we're by Seth Bullock. So there's 9 possibilities. You get 2 cards that are kind of to tell you what's going on, kind of card, you know, they're just little reminders that give you a bit about things like what the mystery safes can be, what the guns are, what safe cards are, and what the badge cards are. So these are all cards that can be pulled out in the safes, and then you get a bit about what to do. So play a card for things that you can do, which is quite nice. How many players can go in the establishment, we'll talk about that in a minute, and then the odds of winning a shootout, which is really quite cool, and quite useful to have out actually. The other cards that you get are, you've got these safe cards, and these are what you're playing for in effect. So loads of different safes, and these are dealt out, and they can do different things. Some of them have got gold in them. Quite a few of them have got gold in them. Some have got guns, and some have got badges. And then there's these sort of silvery ones that are for advanced play, which are slightly more varied and introduce some more complications. And the gist of it is that you're given some safes at the start of the game, and you put your character into an establishment, and the number of characters that can be put into an establishment depends on how big the game is, the number of how many players there are, and the number of people that you've got, or the number of establishments you've got depends on that as well. So you might have, for instance, something like this, and basically, so you might end up with, I don't know, something like that at the start, and you're given a hand of 4 cards from the Deadwood pack, and these can be things like a gun, a pepper box, or holster, and some things do different things. The holsters basically let you give a gun to another player for robbery or duel, so you can buff somebody up. This lets you view any 2 safe cards, and then you've got things like this where you can draw 4 cards and discard to your hand limit, which I think is normally 4 anyway. And you've got 5 different guns that are available to you, and you've got, so there's other cards that can do different things. So you get a choice. You can either shoot or do. In the way that you can shoot, you can either rob people, so you're after their safe, and you have to, the safes are put face down in front of people, and you point at the one you want, and then you try to rob them. or you can go for a duel. And if it's duel, what will happen is you'll swap places with that person. So you could swap to there. And the reason why you would want to do that is if you think one of the places, if you think at the end of I think it's 4 rounds, you basically, whichever establishment has got the most gold in it goes through to the final shootout. So you might sit and look, well actually there's 3 guys there, I think I'm going to swap into that one. And you're hoping that you'll get the gold, you'll be in the place where there's most gold. Now to do a shootout, all you have to do is you roll the number of dice, you roll the colour of dice that corresponds to your gun. So you get pepper box, you've got Derringer, Colt, I think it's a Winchester, and then you've got, I can never remember what one it is, it's the Messenger. And basically some of the dice are more powerful than others. So the yellow dice aren't very good at all. The highest you can get is a 1 or 2, sorry. The orange dice you can get, there's more chance of getting a 2 because there's 2 of them as opposed to 1 of them. Red dice has got, the highest you can get is a 3, but there's only 1 of them. Brown dice, again the highest you can get is a 3, and there's 2 of them. And then finally the black dice, there's actually a 4, and 2 3s, and 2 2s, and 1 1. So there's some weapons that are more powerful, and you basically can get replenished. So you can rob up to 3, I think it's up to 3 safes. You can play special powers if you like, and then the other thing you can do is you can duel and swap places with people. And then finally at the end what happens is, so for instance, if it turned out by some weird quirk of fate that this guy had actually got the most gold, because he's the only guy in his establishment with it, you reveal all the safe cards for everybody within the different establishments. Well, it might end up that the guy on his own is actually the one who's going to win. So he ends up with his one guy in the establishment with the most gold. He's the winner. On the other hand, what may end up happening is that these 3 might win. And if these 3 win, they go to a shootout. And one of the things that is quite interesting is some of the safeguards have good guns. And you might find yourself in a position where you've got an advantage, and before you do that there's an extra round, so there's the badge round, and it plays in a different order. So if you've got one of these cards, you play and you can actually steal things from people at the last minute. If you've got the weapons, you can shoot effectively another round, hopefully against somebody who's undefended, and possibly win. So whoever's left standing in that establishment is the winner. I've played it through in a 2-person game, and I've talked to people who've played it in a bigger game, and actually it's a really nice little game. Fairly simple, pretty easy to pick up, some nice mechanics in there, and it's really good fun, because you've got the whole thing about trying to work out what the other guys have got. You've got lots of different routes to winning, and it's quick, and I'm starting to appreciate quick games, because one of the things that can be a real problem for games is that, especially for people who don't play a lot of games, if you're playing with people who aren't playing an awful lot of other games, you want games that are fast and easy to learn, but have got a bit of depth. And I think that for you as a player, and I think this actually fits that really well. I think this is one of those games that has got enough depth and fun and scales really well from what I can make out. I'm looking at the rules, it looks as if actually it's going to scale quite quickly. And one of the things you don't want in a game is 6 people knocked out and 3 people having a shootout. Well, actually the shootouts don't last that long, so people won't be sitting there just twiddling their thumbs for ages. I like the aesthetic of it, I like the quality of the bits, but the real thing that really appeals to me is just this fast, frantic, kind of crazy play, and I really enjoy that. I like the way that the play goes, and I like the fact that it is that 20-minute game, so I can play it and play it 3 or 4 times. And for people who don't game a lot, that's really important. Because if you're not gaming a lot, you don't have a lot of reference points. And some games are brilliant, but they're so involved that by the time you get, you know, you play one once and you've got an idea what you're doing, you'd have to be playing them every week to make it work. And for some people, it's just practically not going to happen. So this is I think this is a brilliant little game. And honestly, as soon as you see it in retail, if you haven't got it, get it. There's not an awful lot of things out there that fill this kind of hole, and I'm really impressed with it. So well done, Facade Games. You've got a lovely product there, and great work. As ever, please like, share, comment, and subscribe below. And thank you for watching, and have a great evening.